Hey everybody, Rob from the Guitar Shop here. Just want to talk about these new Khdk pedals that we just started carrying. There's a lot of fluff going on online about some comment that Khdk posted that's got a bunch of other pedal dealers, many of whom we really like and also carry in a huff, so I don't want to talk too much about that. But what I will say is we were first introduced to these pedals knowing all of that stuff, and with all this kind of, a little bit of negative buzz around the social media aspect. Yet when we heard them, we were like, we can't not carry these. And that's keeping in mind that we are friends with some of these other dealers who were offended by this, and et cetera, et cetera. But when we heard the pedals, we thought anybody who plays these is going to want to is probably going to want to buy them. And beyond that, they have their own kind of place in the market that doesn't really cross over with a lot of the other lines we carry. So that's, let's go through them. We've got 3 pedals here. The number 1, which out of all of them is kind of like, I don't know, let's just call it the high gain amp in a box. If you're running through like a clean backline amp, or you just prefer to use a clean setup and you want a pedal that responds like a high gain amplifier, that's the one for you. Number 2, this one is kind of like a clean boost. It's got some kind of limited capabilities as a clean boost as well as a light overdrive, but where it really shines is boosting an already dirty amp. And we'll get into some more detail about that. And then this one, the Ghoul Screamer, is based on a tube screamer, but is very, very tweakable. In its kind of bare setting with all the switches up, it's very tube screamer-ish, but we have different levels of compression we can access, as well as low-end boost, high-end boost, and a mid-range boost, and that really changes the character of the pedal. Okay, so let's go through them. Let's start with the number 1. So as I was saying, this one for us is kind of like, one of the best high gain amp in a box pedals that we've heard. We've got a JP2C set totally clean. No breakup at all. Can hit it hard and it's not going to go anywhere. So here's this pedal on its own. So here we've got the gain pretty cranked. The bass and treble controls kind of around the middle. It also has a low gain mode. Back the gain off. We can kind of get medium gain stuff out of it too. But we kind of feel where this really shines is as a high gain monster pedal. So that's the number 1. Let's go with the Ghoul Screamer here. So I'll put all the switches up first, and we'll kind of start with everything in the middle. So in that setting, pretty tube screamery, but when it really comes alive is when you start playing with compression settings. So here, I'm going to go to compression setting 3. We're on compression setting 1 there, so here's 3. This is the loudest of them. Which to my ear means less compression. It sounds like it's opening up the pedal and making it a lot louder. Now let's turn the gain up a little bit. Let's boost the low end. Add some highs. Add some mids. We crank the gain up. Scoop the mids back. Different compression. So I mean, this pedal can do a lot. I guess the personal preference here is to have it big and open, but it does all the tube screamery stuff as well. It just gives you a lot of choice. So depending on what you need it for, to use into a clean amp, to use into a dirty amp, you can really tweak it to your rig. Okay, so let's move on here. Number 2. So this one here, I'm going to set it like kind of like a clean boost first. So just keep it totally clean. controls at noon. There's bypass. And there's pretty much unity gain. And it just adds a little bit of sparkle to the sound. A little bit of high, a little bit of low. We turn the gain up, get a little more output. So, on its own, you can get a decent amount of gain out of the pedal, but it stays very bright and tight, and I think that's by design. So pretty bright on its own, but where it shines is here. So we're going to switch the amp over to the gain channel. Switching over. So here's the amp sound. And now using the pedal to boost the amp. Playability and harmonics, a lot of gain in the front end makes it a little bit easier, and kind of where we feel this pedal really shines is that some boost pedals you really start to flub out the low end when you're boosting a high gain amp.